I mean, I know in your business, you talk about the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. So let's talk about the emotional and spiritual, because we talked about a little bit the mental and the...
Sure.
If you want. I mean, I got time. You got time?
As long as you two can fit us in, or we'll have to do 2 videos, but I can do that. Actually, let's do that. I like that idea.
All right, we'll do
that.
that.
So let's talk emotional then.
So I have a number of clients who they come to me, and I quickly can see that what they've been doing previously wasn't working, but they continue to do the same things over and over again, and it's not working. So my job is to get them to understand that, okay, what you were doing before isn't working, so we got to get you to do something new. But it's all emotionally based, because what happens is it brings up all these emotions and these triggers that then set them off, and they go spiraling downward.
Right.
So what I do is I say, okay, look, the food plan that you were given before that somebody else created for you, and they were pushing their products on you and stuff like that, let's just scrap that. All right. We're gonna create the Angela food plan.
Right.
All right.
I probably could use that too.
And we're gonna create the Angela. I hate the word diet, so I'm not even gonna use it.
No.
We're gonna create the Angela food plan, or the Angela regime, and the Angela regime is gonna go like this. Angela, right now, I can see that if we were to start you training, it's just going to kind of perpetuate the problems that have been going with you in the past, and you're going to start spiraling downward, because we're not really getting to the source of the problem.
Right.
So I see for you, there are a lot of emotional triggers that kind of set you off, and then these are obstacles that make it hard for you to be successful.
Okay.
So why don't we get rid of the emotional triggers?
I like it.
So what I do, because I'm a certified trainer and master practitioner of NLP, hypnotherapy, and time empowerment, I release anger, fear, sadness, anxiety, and guilt. I couldn't remember for a second there.
Perfect.
So what I do is I do it through a breakthrough session. Now, a breakthrough session is a session that lasts anywhere from 5 to 8 hours.
Wow.
And this is even before I train them, or even get I would have gotten a nutritional profile beforehand, only for me to show them the change after they go through the breakthrough, because it's very interesting to see what changes and how they start thinking about things differently when they've gone through a breakthrough session. So a breakthrough session in a nutshell is I take you through by releasing these negative emotions and limiting decisions that are leading towards your not being successful. We eliminate them. You eliminate them. I'm kind of your guide and help you along the way.
Right.
And you supercharge the area of your life, and in this area it will be fitness and nutrition, or fitness and healthcare.
Okay.
And then it gives you the tools to then know what you need to do and apply to the other areas of your life. Now, we can do a breakthrough session in all areas of your life if you'd like.
Sure.
But what it does is it at least gives you the ability to say, hey, I can be successful here.
Right.
And I can be successful here guilt-free, sadness-free, anger-free, anxiety-free, and it's unbelievable, because for a lot of people, that emotional trigger is the stumbling block.
Totally. Do you do that with everybody then?
I do that with people who I see that's where the problem is.
Because I could see that. I mean, it definitely is what I teach very much so too. So I see that being like a culprit for so many people not being able to be successful in this realm.
Absolutely. Now,
which makes sense why there's so many people doing like all the I won't name the names, but all the diet plans out there, and then and getting so frustrated with them. And we know it's a deeper issue, right?
Yeah, they're repeating the same problems, and they're just switching the program.
Right.
Well, that's fine. You can do that, but you have to switch the source.
Yeah.
You got to change the source, and the source usually is you.
Right.
So, and again, this is very NLP-ish, because you have to understand that NLP, you have to take responsibility for what you do. You have to be the change that you want to see. I mean, we can quote
Gandhi.
We can quote Deepak. We can quote, my quote book that's coming out. we can quote everything. It's at the end of the day, it always comes down to you. And so through this breakthrough session, I quickly show you that if you're going to be successful, you're the one that's going to do it.
Nice.
And so that helps with the emotional aspect of training and nutrition, which is huge.
It's almost like cleaning the slate before you even begin.
Yeah, it's a
so there's no blocks.
Yeah.
And that would get rid of a lot of the can'ts and shouldn'ts and wouldn'ts and don'ts, I would believe, as well.
Absolutely. Now, don't get me wrong. People, they come out of there and they feel reborn, and they slide back a little bit, but but they quickly catch themselves.
Right.
And they switch, and they go back to, oh, okay, now I know why I'm doing it. I can see why I'm doing it. And now what we give them is we empower them and we give them self-realization, whereas before they didn't have that.
So everyone can see why I love this guy so much and why he's not just a personal trainer. I think so many people in fitness fail to see there's that mental, emotional component, which is so imperative to change before we actually have success.
Absolutely.
So how does spirituality play a role? Because I know then that you're a spiritual person as well, especially when you're quoting Gandhi and Deepak Chopra. And how does that tie into a realm like this?
Well, you have to understand that there's always a bigger picture. Mm-hmm. And whether you subscribe to whatever you want to call the higher power, God, Buddha, Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua, whomever, it comes down to you and how you feel about that and your approach. And the spirituality, the level of spirituality we have, you don't necessarily have to be religious or fanatical or what have you to be spiritual. I always say spiritual it's an energy.
Yes.
And it's an energy on a higher realm. What that realm is, well, it doesn't necessarily matter what it is. The fact is it's higher than where you are currently. Mm-hmm. And once you can tap into that energy, mm-hmm. then you can actually start to see things and see how they tie into everything. And where it becomes ecological, and I'm going to use again another NLP term. Ecological means good for you, good for others, good for the environment.
Right.
So for me, when you're dealing on a spiritual level, you're dealing on a level that's good for you, good for others, and good for the environment. You're taking in the whole picture.
Nicely said.
You're taking in the whole. Thank you. You're taking in the whole picture, and you're applying it with everything that you do.
Right.
And it's not just being green. It's being green because it's just what you do. It's natural. It's what should happen.
Or organic, as I find everyone's using that word
organic,
now. It's very organic.
Go. Exactly. Organic is another word, another popular word. So I think when you approach your fitness, your nutrition, your emotional state that way, mm-hmm. it's easier to find the source of that energy. Mm-hmm. And all too often, even though the source starts with you, then it's that the energy's got to go somewhere. So where does that energy go? So if we spiritually are thinking that there's always a higher level or a higher a higher way of looking at it, or and when I say higher, I don't mean higher as in higher or lower. I just mean another level. You take it to the next step.
Yes.
And so for a lot of people, they've accomplished everything that they can, maybe. And don't get me wrong, because you can never really accomplish everything in this realm. Mm-hmm. But when you are getting close and you're looking to accomplish things in the other realm, I think it's very important that you have that spiritual component that keeps you grounded. Spirituality keeps you grounded.
Yeah. And that's a different way of looking at it.
And yeah, exactly.
It's true. And I was just thinking that as you're speaking, that I would think, especially for a lot of people out there that are very top chakra oriented people, we need to physically bring our mission to earth, which one, I think this is going to help with that. But I also get the other sense from what you're saying is that when people are here and they're cleansing their body of all the negativity, whether it be physical toxins or mental toxins, emotional, you can't help but have a spiritual awakening. So it's almost like the two go together. There's
Absolutely.
This yin yang that come together.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
And when things are right, mm-hmm. and you feel good and happy and in that place, mm-hmm. there's a level of spirituality that's happening that you might not even know.
True.
But you're open. And so spirituality is also being open.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you really tie all levels in on all ways, shapes, and forms. Well, I want to thank you again so much. We've covered physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, all to do with fitness and health and changing our thoughts, and I absolutely love it. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to email Roland directly, or definitely contact me and I'll put you in touch with them. And you're also on Facebook.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter.
The whole gamut.
I'm tweeting, I'm LinkedIn, and I'm Facebooking. So
sweet. Well,
you can find me.
Thanks so much. And I hope you enjoyed June's newsletter. This is Angela Dacey signing off till next month when we bring you another colorful expert.